The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally.
Who's that wonderful girl? Could she be any cuter?
Well, she could be a bit nicer. It's News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
Hilarious. The price of eggs have doubled. If you've been to the grocery store lately, maybe you've noticed it. But this is a problem for many, but a New Hampshire couple, they have come up with a creative idea. They're starting a business and it's called Rent the Chicken. And it's exactly what you think it is. So for $600, you can rent chickens.
For how long?
For 6 months.
So $100 a month.
That's pretty good.
You're not going to spend.
You're not going to need that many eggs.
$100 on eggs, even at like the inflation.
Listen, do the math.
Okay.
A dozen eggs.
Yeah.
You get. They say you can get about a dozen eggs per week with 2 hens.
Okay.
So, Gavin is our mathematician here.
If I'm at the store and I buy a dozen eggs right now, it's around
Say $5.
maybe $4.
Yeah.
So if I did that like a week, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Times 4 weeks in a month, that's 20 times 6 months. You shouldn't spend more than 150. Okay, keep going.
Well, you get 2 to 4 hens. You also get all the feed that you need to feed them. You get instructional materials, tutorials, and phone support 24/7. And while that may sound intimidating, it really sounds like it's not that big of a deal. Here's Brian, owner of Rent the Chicken, to explain.
You just let them out and walk around. They go in at night on their own. They want to roost up and just real low maintenance. And, people really enjoy it.
Yeah, that rooster screaming in the background is not helping sell this.
So while they have come up with this solution for expensive eggs, they have solved one problem. It might create another. People are getting attached.
Yes, I think that's why they're doing it.
Once again, here's Brian to explain.
And a lot of the customers decide they want to have the same birds. They get very attached to their birds, and when they come back, we tag them with a colored tag around the ankle so they can get the same birds back next year.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes he even said that some of his customers, when their 6 months are up, they're like, how much would it cost to buy this chicken off of you? Because I guess the kids have gotten used to them. They named them, and now they want to keep them.
This one makes no sense financially to do, because you could not, unless you have a giant family and you eat eggs like crazy, you're going to spend less, even if eggs are really expensive, than on this. But if it's like a family thing and you want to teach your kids about responsibility and teach them about where eggs come from, because I still am a little nebulous on it. I'm just a little hazy on that. And so like that, from that standpoint, it makes total sense. We have a friend that has chickens, and they're pretty low maintenance.
We even live near a veterinarian clinic, and they have a pen full of chickens.
Yeah, right next door. I see them every morning, and I get hungry.
Oh, my gosh.
So what is TikTok and how do you use it?
Uplifting, WayFM, this is The Wally Show, and Betty and I spend a lot of time on TikTok. Gavin, are you as on there as Betty is?
I'm probably not as much as you, especially.
Me, okay.
But I do. If I'm going on a walk or if I'm at home and my son is asleep, it's scroll o'clock for me. And for me, it's usually recipe videos, a lot of baby content because that's just where I'm at in life. But then I did stumble upon on a walk yesterday on a really good spiritual conversation-based video that had a good impact on me yesterday.
This one guy and I were arguing about whether or not God existed, and he goes, do you believe if someone commits suicide, they go to hell? And I said, if they do or if they don't, has nothing to do with the actual argument that we're discussing right now. So this is a red herring. So why don't you stay on topic? I got him, and I was right. It was completely superfluous to the fundamental issue of whether or not God exists. So I win. Somebody said later, do you know why he asked that? His wife committed suicide. So at a moment where I had an opportunity to say, why do you ask that? No, instead, I wanted to win an argument.
Oof. Yeah, I fully understand that because I love to argue. I love to debate.
And you love to win.
And I love to win. Yes, all of the. That is the perfect storm for a misstep like this because I've been in that place before here. There'll be people that will email me, and they'll take apart something I've said on the show, or they're really angry about something. And I used to just go at them. As hard as they came at me, I went at them harder. And I would pick apart their argument and like destroy them. And at the end, like by 5 emails back and forth, it looked nothing like Jesus. And I had a revelation somewhere a few years into this thing. And it was like, read between the lines. There's so much more going on. This person isn't even really mad about this. That's the thing that started this conversation. But if you read between the lines, you see this other hurt. And I started doing that. And I started like responding, hey, I get this. Let's talk about that in a minute. But you said this, and I'm curious why. Is it because you've got a relationship that's broken right now? Right. You know, and the tone completely changed in how our interaction went.
Because it brings the human aspect into it, and you see where they're coming from. You can maybe put yourself in their shoes, create some sympathy, create some empathy, and that ultimately is Jesus.
You see the person, not the problem.
Right.
You know, and that was this. It was a great lesson for me, and this is great audio too. The guy wanted to win a spiritual argument, you know, and that's great, but then he realizes he lost the war. You know, Betty had said he was more concerned with winning than witnessing. And I think that that's a big revelation for all of us when we get caught up in that moment, or you're in this debate or this argument with someone, to then step back out of it and go, what am I really trying to accomplish here? Do I want to bring this person closer to Jesus, or do I really want to win this argument? And for me, sadly, a lot of my years was, I want to win this argument. And I still have to watch myself about that, because I like to win arguments, you know? So I am curious, like, have you ever been in the place where this guy was, or where I was? Betty's never been there. She's perfect.
No, I just hate confrontation.
Exactly.
Unless it has to do with Wally, then I'm all in.
Yeah, you're really good at confronting me. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and this morning I was writing some notes down for my daughter's wedding speech.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you start crying?
I got a little choked up. I was kind of working through some things, like, because I have about 7 or 8 nicknames for her, and I kind of wanted to talk about that, and then I wanted to talk about how, you know, she's getting married in this castle in Ireland, and every princess dreams of that. But this was her husband Spencer's dream. Yeah.
Every prince.
Yeah, Spencer wanted to get married in a castle, so here we all are, you know, kind of thing. And then I was talking about how she worries about everything, but then the thing she doesn't worry about is Spencer. And like, that's how I knew it was good. It was right, you know. And so I'm getting choked up. And so I started working on that today.
Well, you're crying over, you know, your feelings for your daughter,
Sure.
which is so sweet. But I'm going to have you crying, but for a different reason.
Okay.
And that's for how expensive weddings are getting. So these are the top trends of weddings for the year that we are in, 2025. Okay. And you would think, well, maybe kids are seeing how ridiculous the price is, and they want to lower the standards.
Yeah.
No, not really. In some ways, maybe. In other ways, not so much. So the first one is, a big trend is the bride having multiple wedding dresses. So you have your official one that you get married in, but then at the reception, you change into a different one.
Of course, yeah. I had a friend.
Is that the case for your daughter?
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Like, her friend did. Her friend had 2 dresses. I know another girl that had 3. Yeah, and so, Haley got 1 on sale.
But if Haley were like, Daddy, I need a second dress.
No, you do not. Give me some scissors. I'll cut that one down, make it shorter so you can dance.
Oh, my gosh. Another one, and this sounds expensive. Maybe it's not. Drone footage. You hire someone to come with their drone and get all the footage.
That makes sense, because, like, if you're doing an outside wedding, that'd be awesome. I would love to fly like a drone right through the couple, like right at the preacher, and then up, like, get the best
this
shot.
Is why you shouldn't be responsible.
I might buy one, and then just be like, Haley, don't worry about it. And then I'll just sit there at the wedding and I'll fly drone around.
No. And then finally, this is one that you have even admitted, you don't want to even think about. The unique wedding experience, like making it an experience of making it a weekend before. So you take the guests and the ones that are closer to you,
right,
and you bring them with you kind of on a trip, per se, to experience everything around them maybe the week before the wedding.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, because we went into a wedding a few days early and we hung out with our friends and stuff, and that was nice. But this one, Haley doubled down on that and decided to do a destination wedding. And so we're going to be in Ireland. So it's kind of like everyone gets hosed. Like
everyone, no, you, because you're taking your mom.
Yeah, it's costing me a bunch of money.
And isn't some of your siblings going?
Yeah, but they're like everybody has to pay for their own stuff, except for moms.
Except for moms
yeah.
and Haley's mom.
Yeah. And so, but like, so it gets definitely. But the irony is, it's cheaper than it was here. Honest, truthful. It's cheap, except for traveling to get there. Like the actual wedding itself is cheaper.
Well, last time I talked to you, you said you told your wife, Marty, you were like, please don't tell me what it is we're spending.
Right.
Because it will make me sick to my stomach.
Exactly. I don't even want to know. That's why we gave Haley the money and said, you manage it. You get what you want. Anything that's left over.
She's your only child.
I know, but
she said, Daddy, I need 13 swans.
She has this down.
Daddy,
She's like,
I need the ice sculpture.
She knows there is absolutely nothing left, and whatever she has left over, she gets to keep. So she's really being cheap, and I love it. I'm so thrilled.
Sure. But you were trying to put that into the conversations. Like, when you want to save a little bit of money and maybe do this
Absolutely.
or that.
Absolutely. And it's been fun to watch her get like super cheap about it, because then she's looking at the bigger picture of having money left over.
Oh, but the day before the wedding and she's crying and you're like, what's wrong, honey?
I need 3 dresses. All right.
Okay.
We'll go get you something couture whipped up here in Ireland. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And from time to time, Betty Rock will come across something like a term, and she likes to quiz us on it to see if we know what it is. Is this a business term?
Yes, it's a new workplace term.
Okay.
And the term is, we like to label everything these days. It's called task masking. Do you know, or do you have a guess as to what task masking is?
If I was to guess, I hope I don't get it right. I think it's to, like, pretend like you're working. Like, to make yourself seem really busy. Like you're overworked and stuff like that. You're like, I just so much to do. But you're really masking that you're doing nothing.
You should be a Gen Zer, because that is absolutely correct.
Is it right?
Task masking is when you just act like you are so busy that you just can't keep up with everything that's on your plate. Now, there are a lot of bosses that are, because a lot of Gen Zers are taking to TikTok and doing videos on how you can do task masking.
Right.
Like they give you tips.
I love that they're trying to help you. No, that's the wrong way to approach work, y'all.
But I guess the word is getting to bosses, and bosses are like maybe thinking to themselves, oh, maybe I need to get a detailed list of what my employees are doing every day.
Yeah.
But if task masking sounds like something you're interested in, or maybe you're a boss,
there you go,
and you want to look for these things in your employees.
Because I want to watch you and Gavin like a hawk. Mainly you.
No, I'm just outright with it. Like, listen,
I'm doing nothing today.
If you got a problem with it,
step to me, bro.
Bad.
Yeah.
The first one is if you notice someone walking fast with a laptop stuffed under their armpit, like they're walking, trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that person is busy.
Yeah.
But they also might be task masking.
Yeah.
Another one is if you come into their office or their cubicle and they're typing really loud. That's because they want people to know, hey, I'm busy and I'm doing something.
Yeah.
But if you look at that spreadsheet or what they're typing on,
Minecraft. It's what it is.
it might be. I don't know. But anyways, that's something to look at if you have employees.
There you go.
People that answer to you.
Yeah. So I do walk fast. Like I walk with purpose when I'm going places.
But that's constant.
It's constant, yeah. But I'm usually on task.
But
getting
also, too,
done.
I have noticed, like, when you're out in the common area, you will yell things.
Yes.
And I think you do that to let people know you are busy. You are busy.
Right.
You're not masking it.
Right.
But you're definitely tasking it. You're like, I am busy.
Yes.
Look, I'm doing this.
Exactly. Notice what I am doing because I want to stand out from all the Gen Zers that are faking work today.
Exactly.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way of Him. This here is The Wally Show. A little bit of good news. Giddy up. Couple rapid fire good news stories coming at you because the rest of the news can be a little bit cantankerous. This was kind of cool. Kind of turning a negative into a positive. There's an 18-year-old kid from Utah who had to quit baseball when he got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And so, you could be like, man, I love baseball. That was going to be what I thought was going to be my career. What do I do now? I'm done, and wallow in that. Or you pivot. And this kid pivoted. He now just became the first kid from Utah to get a scholarship for, wait for it, cornhole.
That's a thing?
Yes, it's a thing. Cornhole is an actual sport and that you can play in college. He went to Winthrop University in South Carolina that is widely seen as having the best, most competitive cornhole team.
I guess his parents are proud. I mean,
absolutely.
He's getting a full scholarship.
And if he couldn't play that, it shows he's still competitive and he's resilient and he will find ways to do things. Yeah. And I think it's fantastic.
I'd much rather him be competitive cornholing than doing something else. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. What do you got, Lady Rock?
Well, there's a guy named Jerry Parkin, and bless his heart, he recently passed away at 91 years old. But he had a bunch of interesting guests at his funeral. It was a bunch of Burger King employees from his local Burger King joint. So he went there all the time. He would meet friends there, have coffee.
Great.
Like, the employees knew what he wanted constantly.
He was actually the Burger King.
He really was. But anyways, so he even celebrated his 90th birthday there. So he was a big Burger King fan. Well, the employees, once they learned that Jerry had passed away, they took the seat that he typically sat in and they put his name on it.
I love that.
Yeah, and they brought it to his funeral as well.
That's really cute. I love that. Like, I love when old people, they have like these things where they will go to the same restaurant every day and they'll meet with their friends. My father-in-law did that, and all the waitresses knew him and loved him. And I just think that those moments are really great. I hope they didn't do an autopsy though and find out that like it was the Whoppers that killed him.
At 91, listen, he did pretty good.
Yeah, go out happy.
Yes. Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
We're not saying he's the best man for the job.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
But he's a man doing his best at the job.
And I never have.
It's News-ish with Wally on The Wally Show.
So I watched President Trump's speech last night to Congress, and it was a picture-perfect depiction of just how divided our country is right now. As he spoke, obviously Republicans would stand and cheer at different points, and that happens no matter who is in office. You cheer for your guy. But the Dems sat there stoic and never rising or clapping, but rather holding signs of opposition, and even called him out a couple times for it. So this is not going to be a rant about our current political state or about an endorsement one way or the other. But I want to focus on a couple things that were cool from the speech last night that I did not see coming. And they were not political, but rather human. And it was really cool. It was the first time I had ever seen a speech like this turn into kind of an Oprah Winfrey moment. It was really a good use of the platform. I thought was cool. So President Trump took time to recognize a few kids in the audience. One was DJ Daniel, a 13-year-old cancer survivor whose dream was to become a police officer. But President Trump had a really cool surprise for DJ.
DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
And so he starts crying. The kid's crying,
That's
and I
so
can't believe it. Like,
sweet.
oh, that was so good. I love that. But he wasn't done there. The kindness is kind of addictive. He went on to address Jason Hartley, who comes from a family of military men, and his dad was killed in the line of duty when Jason was just a kid. And Jason is an impressive young adult.
Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Nice.
That's awesome. I love that. Now, I mean, was everybody happy for these kids?
Half the room was. It was still kind of a mess, honestly. And I hate to see that because, man, you should be able to cheer that. Like,
Right.
you know, but amidst all the divisiveness and adult anger, it was really nice to see two kids' dreams become a reality. And we definitely need more of that from our politicians, all of them. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and Gavin, Betty, and I always trade like TikToks back and forth that make us laugh and stuff, but Gavin sent me one that I thought was really cool because it takes something that could be stigmatized and it takes the stigma away from it by kind of being honest or being funny with something that people could be very sensitive to. And so I'm going to give you the little disclaimer. This is not an attempt to make fun of anybody. I don't even think the song is doing that. I think the song is trying to normalize something that people deal with, okay? And so I just thought this was really cool. It's a song about autism, actually, that was floating around TikTok.
With a little bit of tism comes a little bit of fun. If you got a bit of tism, well, you're not the only one, because they say that it's a spectrum that everybody's on. And a little bit of tism, 'tis a mighty bit of fun.
And it's catchy. Like, it's memorable. But this is the thing, man. Like, I try to treat everybody, if you've got something going on, like autism or whatever, I try to treat everybody like it's just absolutely normal, you know? And, like, I treat somebody that would have autism like I would treat my best friend. I'll kid around with them, poke fun, destigmatize, ask questions, you know, because I think that we walk around on eggshells and we don't want to offend, so much so that we stop seeing people and we stop treating them as people, you know?
And I'm sure that the moms of children who have special needs, I mean, they appreciate someone who actually speaks to these children like they're a normal human being, because they are.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why, like, when you hear a song like this, there could be a tendency to go, oh, is that insensitive or whatever. I think it's the most sensitive thing you can do, is to just kind of call something out. Here it is. This is what it is. And it's okay. You know, and that's what I think I love about it. So here's what I want to do, kind of inspired by this with you, is I want to do a thing we call What I Wish People Knew About, and you fill in the blank. And so for us today, that what I wish people knew about is autism, okay? So maybe you have it. Maybe you have a child with it, and you've dealt with this for a lot of years. What is that thing you wish people knew about autism? Because these kids are amazing, man. Like, that's the thing. I think there's a tendency to look at the disease and forget the child inside of this stuff sometimes. And so I love having these honest conversations. So how would you fill in that blank? Here's what I wish people knew about autism. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'd love to get your take on this right now. How would you fill in this blank? What I wish people knew about autism.
Autism is so much fun. Like, you wouldn't think that when you first hear the word autism, but my son, who was diagnosed 4 years ago, he has so much personality. It's almost like a dry humor. So he'll do things that's really funny, and he just gives you a straight face and never cracks a smile.
See, I love that you see the joy in it, too, because it would be easy to see the diagnosis and the sadness and, like, what's my son's life going to be like? What challenges is he going to face? But I love that you choose to see, yeah, it's fun. There's some fun that comes with this.
Absolutely. And it's such a blessing that we didn't know that we needed.
That's awesome. There's a new movie out called The Unbreakable Boy it's a true story about a kid with autism and, like, brittle bone disease. It was done by the I Can Only Imagine guys, the Irwin brothers. It's really good, and it might be something that would be interesting for you to go see as someone that has a child that deals with autism, and to see what you think about that movie.
Yeah, we can't wait to see it.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you being on the show with us today, Carly. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great day.
we're doing fill in the blank, Susan. What I wish people knew about autism. How would you fill that in?
A couple of things. One, no two are the same. They face different challenges. But most important is stop feeling sorry for them. Every time someone sees one, they feel sorry. I have 2 grandsons, and they're like, oh, how sad. They're not sad. I have one that's low on the spectrum, and of course, faces some challenges, but he's involved in sports and, very outgoing. And I have a nonverbal grandson, and everybody's like, oh, he's so sad. He's so cute, but he's so sad. No, he's not sad. He has his own little language that he talks, and he's vibrant and just funny and just the most precious child.
You're the reason that we're doing this, because I think there is a tendency for people to think, oh, this is so sad, or I feel bad for these parents or this family. And I love that you have a joy inside of this because you love these grandkids, regardless of what they got going on. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your perspective on this today. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
We're having an honest conversation about autism and filling in this blank. What I wish people knew about autism. So how would you do that?
I actually work as a paraprofessional at an elementary school in Tallahassee, and our motto is to be the able, not the label.
Ooh, I like that.
Everyone's able to do whatever is given in front of them. It's just the way they're taught or supported. The support system for anyone with disabilities is very important. They're just given with different challenges.
Yeah, because we've all got challenges of some sort, and so it's finding that key to unlock their potential in how that they can work around the challenge that they're dealing with, which I would imagine is a pretty great thing as an educator.
It's amazing once you see the light bulb go off whenever they're taught a different way that they can learn.
It's today's Music Insider.
TMI.
With Gavin.
TMI, my friends.
When it comes to Christian concerts, it's hard to get any bigger than Winter Jam. I've been probably 4 or 5 times in my lifetime. It's great, and it usually includes a large lineup this year. You had Skillet, Ann Wilson, Colton Dixon, and then one of my personal favorites, Micah Tyler, who you might know from this song.
I'm gonna sing it. I'm gonna shout it. I'm gonna lift my hands and praise, no matter what is gonna come my way.
And we've had him in a couple of times. He's become one of my favorite people to know. Kind of
He's funny.
The person behind the artist.
Yeah.
And he being on Winter Jam, he actually kind of had a really rough start to Winter Jam. Like right before it started, he lost his brother who'd been battling cancer for 7.5 years. Said he was a hero of his and he really looked up to him. And then he said a week into Winter Jam, they lost his grandma as well. So it's hard because you see these people on stage, but you don't always get to know what's going on behind the scenes with
they're
their
there
life.
to edify and encourage me, but then they have their own issues and struggles and they need the same thing.
Absolutely, but he had something really encouraging to say about how the community that is the touring Winter Jam staff and other artists kind of gathered around him when all this happened.
When you go out on the road, it's hard being away from the comforts of home, just with your own bed and your own rhythms and that kind of stuff. But we brought a bunch of heartache out here. But the thing that I've been impressed with the most, not only has it been the rooms that we've been in with the people being so kind and so excited about just singing about Jesus, but even backstage, the Colton and these other guys we shared a bus with, and KB and Tripoli when he was out for a couple of weekends. I've had so many guys that have come around me, have been praying for our family, have been supportive of us. And so to me, the one thing that I love bragging on is because everybody gets to see everybody on stage for 20 minutes a night. But I can tell you the other 23 and a half hours a day, man, some of the best people I know right now are out here on Winter Jam.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that because, it is a community and they have their own thing. They have their own language, too, because they're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
They live a similar life, and so they know the importance of, how tough it is to be away from home and to have people that you can have your road family with you. And I love that he got that from the people on Winter Jam.
Yeah, and I think nobody would have blamed him if he had said, hey, all this is happening.
Yeah,
I just need to be home. I don't want to be, out on the road while all of this is happening. But I think he does value the message that his music can have and impact anybody on any given night. For him to still be out there also speaks, I think, volumes to the impact he can have.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We're going to do a little snap judgment because you might wonder how songs get picked and played because there's so many songs to choose from here on Way FM. Well, we do snap judgment. Our music people listen to your opinions and they take them seriously. And so here's the way we're going to do it. We play a snippet of a song or a snap. We have a judgment. We pass judgment on it. And then we play the hook to see if our opinion changes. We do 2 songs that are up for consideration, and you tell us which one you want to hear more of. So with that, Lady Rock.
Yes. Now, typically, I don't tell you who the artist is because I want you to go in with it without having some connotation of what
any
to expect.
preconceived notions.
Exactly. But these 2 artists that we're going to play, you just know them right off the bat. It's easy to know. So we're going to go with the first one. I'm still not going to tell you who it is, but the first song is called Only for a Moment.
Here's the snap. Okay, it's weird because I don't know who that is.
Really?
I really don't.
It's so quick.
Gavin?
Yeah.
I do know who it is.
Oh, you do? Okay, I don't know who that is.
Again?
Yeah, well, I don't normally do this.
Here.
Come here. I do like that. I like that. I mean, it sounds like a lot of stuff that's out currently, but I think it's really good. I would be in on that snap, actually.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too.
Betty Lou?
And Wally, you still don't know who it is?
I don't.
Wow. It's the music is so big in that moment.
Maybe so. Maybe you'll get it in the snap.
Like I say, it sounds like a lot of other things I'm hearing right now, I think. And which, I mean...
I love it. I think it's great.
Okay, so everybody's in on the snap.
And
maybe
I'm all about hydration. You know, like he says, watering the ground. You know, you gotta drink your water.
Okay, well, let's hear how the hook goes here. This is Only for a Moment hook.
It's only for a moment, so keep holding on. Yeah. It's only for a moment, no, it won't be long. Yeah. His plan for you is
I'm lost. I really don't know who that is.
You have face blindness, not voice blindness.
Yeah, I don't know who that. I hear like Blessing Offer or what's his name. I hear We Are Messengers kind of in there, or Blessing Offer is what I hear.
Okay, we're going back to the Coldplay days where any song you heard that had a piano in it, he was like, it sounds kind of Coldplay.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, anyways, are you in or out?
I like the snap better than I like the hook, I think. So I think I'm gonna go out actually on that one. Gavin?
Yeah. It's not as exciting as I wanted it to be. So I'm gonna stay out as well.
Okay, Betty Lou?
I'm in.
Okay.
I love the message behind it because I think we all find ourselves in those situations where we just want to give up and be done. But this artist is saying he's watering the ground.
I know.
Because you got to stay hydrated and keep holding on.
Well, there you go. That is song number 1. We're going to put up song number 2 next and see how it fares against song number 1. And you will get to decide which of these songs we play today here on Way FM. We'll do that in 10 on The Wally Show. What is song number 2, Lady Rock?
This one is called Then I Will.
Then I Will. Here's the snap.
I will move. I will stand strong.
Okay. I like that. Gavin, you seemed moved.
No, sure. It's a little slow.
A little
for
slow
me,
for you. Okay.
And that's not wrong.
Yeah.
But
he's out.
It makes me out right now.
Yeah, Gavin's a bad boy. Like
That's right.
he's just like
He is?
yeah. He's a rebel, a
At
renegade.
least 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, he needs his music to be a little harder and like hit a little different. Betty Lou, are you in or out?
No, I'm out too.
Are you out on that one too?
Yeah.
Bad girl.
That's a shame. Yeah.
That's me.
And I'm kind of out on that one as well.
Okay.
It didn't land for me. But this is why we now play the hook, because sometimes it all changes in a split second. So here we go. This is the hook for Then I Will.
I'll surrender everything, all for your will. Abandon every part of me, all for your will. No matter what the cost may be, this for me to die for love. Then I will.
I do love her voice. Now that one I do know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah, her voice is amazing.
It is.
On other songs. No. I think that is a song that is a good song. I think that's a grower for me. I think that's a song that will really grow on me. The problem is she's had so many songs that I like better that I compare it to herself. And I'm like, okay, that was interesting. So I think I'm going to be out. But it's a contingent out because I think that song will grow on me where I'll be like, oh, that's a jam. But I'm going to have to right now go out. Betty Lou?
Let me say this. This woman can sing the phone book.
Yeah, 100%.
She's amazing. Great talent.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this song, I'm not
It's just sitting there.
in. I mean, I know it's called Then I Will, but actually I won't.
All right, Gavin, in or out?
I can't follow a lineup like that.
I know, it's a pretty good line.
So yeah, I just circumstantially live, I bet that's a really powerful song.
Yeah.
But on the radio and in this moment,
didn't land.
It just doesn't work for me.
That's interesting that it landed with none of us. But this is why we now throw it out to you, because we could be 1 billion% wrong. You could be like, hey, idiots. This is
absolutely
like the two of you are ridiculous, Betty and Gavin. So you could be like, this is the best song I've ever heard. That's what we want to know right now. So here we go. I'm going to give you the hook of both the songs so that you can make an informed decision. This is the hook for song number 1, Only for a Moment.
It's only for a moment, so keep holding on. Yeah. It's only for a moment, no, it won't be long.
And song number 2, Then I Will.
I'll surrender everything, all for your will. Abandon every part of me, all for
That was fast. It already grew on me. So now you make the decision. Which of these two songs would you like to hear more of on Way FM? 855-33-WAY FM. We just want to know which song you like and why. 855-33-WAY FM.
Then I will.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. Carla, thank you for joining us and for helping us out here today on Snap Judgment. So you've heard the hooks of the two songs, Only for a Moment and Then I Will. Your job is to tell us which of these two songs you would like to hear more of on Way FM.
Now, Carla, do you have any guess as to who sang each song?
Yes, I know about song number 2.
Oh, you don't know about song number 1, though?
No.
Interesting.
And,
Okay.
and the hook didn't get me.
Oh, so you're going with song number 2 then?
Yes, I know who the artist is. I know where the song is from. It's a theme song from a movie that was released recently.
Oh, really? What movie?
I can't think of the name of it. It's about a priest. I think it was during World War II.
Was that Bonhoeffer?
Yes, that one.
That one? Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I want to see that still.
I have not either, and I want to see it too. But the song, when you hear the whole song and you know the context, it is awesome.
Okay, so the song was from Lauren Daigle.
Yes.
And she's
It's called
amazing.
Then I Will.
Who did she pass up on?
Now, you passed up on a song, and that one was Danny Gokey with Only for a Moment.
Oh, well, I do like him, but...
Doesn't sound like it, Carla. You were pretty negative about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Like I said, I know the context of Lauren's song, and when you hear the whole song, it's awesome.
Well, I will tell you this. It was like 50-50. You were the deciding factor today. So the two songs were way closer than I thought. You pushed it over the edge for Miss Lauren Daigle and her new song, Then I Will. And so that's what we're going to play here on Snap Judgment, thanks to Carla.
What we have here within our hearts, so much stronger than the dark.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. On The Rock Report.
Netflix hit a home run when they released the show Stranger Things. Now, I think me and Gavin watched it.
Yeah.
Wally, you tried.
I tried a season and then I was out.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I just didn't.
Too scary for you?
Definitely.
Well, there's an actress on there that's how she got her start. Her name is Millie Bobby Brown, and she played the character of 11. That was her character name. But at 10 years old, that's how old
That's when she
was.
started?
That's crazy.
At 10
Wow.
years old. And she was an awesome actress, and she still is. But now she's 21 years old.
Oh, my
That was 10 years or 11 years ago?
Yeah.
That you guys told me about watching that?
No,
Holy cow.
I got a late start in it. Yeah. Anyway, so here's what's so crazy. So she's 21, so 11 years older than when she first started with Stranger Things. So of course she's aged a little bit, but still at 21,
It's 21.
she's a baby.
Yeah.
But anyways, there are journalists that are just trying to get stories out there. They have to meet a quota, I guess. And so Millie Bobby Brown, she started noticing that all of these articles being released about her were very mean. Like they had titles like, "What has Millie Bobby Brown done to her face?" Or "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobby Brown aging so badly?"
Oh, wow. That's kind of
And it's crazy.
insensitive.
You must be thinking, well, she must look terrible. No, she doesn't at all. She looks like a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I love what she did. She posted a video recently on her social media, and she called it out. She said, "This is not journalism. This is bullying."
Yeah.
And it's so true. But she also followed that with this.
We have become a society where it's so much easier to criticize than it is to pay a compliment. If you have a problem with that, I have to wonder, what is it that actually makes you so uncomfortable? Let's do better, not just for me, but for every young girl who deserves to grow up without the fear of being torn apart for simply existing.
In a world where body shaming is like such a hot button, you know, and not just to be politically correct, just because it's right, you know, to not do that to someone. It's interesting that journalists and things like that would choose in this day and age to go after a young woman's looks like that for what seems like zero reason.
And some of these people that are writing these articles are women. So,
Really?
Yeah, so they already know the criteria that it is to women are expected to just never age. Well,
Right.
that's just impossible. And when you start bullying a young actress at 21, like that's not right.
Boy, if you're going to go after a 21-year-old in your article for how she looks, you better, if you're like some 45-year-old lady, you probably should remove your photo from the article.
Right?
You know,
Ooh.
that's rough.
Hopefully she makes a few changes. Like with the release of this video, hopefully it'll reach the people that it needs to, and
Yeah.
it'll stop all of this bullying, because honestly there are going to be young girls that read these articles and they're going to think, well, if Millie Bobby Brown is ugly, well then I must be ugly, and you couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I've seen how women will internalize that a lot. I've seen that happen with my wife of things I've said or something like that, and she goes, if you think that about that, then you must be thinking that worse about me. I'm like, no, I never even said that, you know. And so that's a
what
dangerous
you were
thing.
thinking.
Exactly. And so there you go. That's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and it is no secret we play a lot of great music here on Way FM. And sometimes, like, you'll be hearing a song, and you're like, man, that line from that song, that just lands with me. Betty Rock, we were talking about this the other day. She's like, I would get that one tattooed if I was getting tattooed.
I would.
What song was that for you, the line from the song?
It's actually a Christian artist. Her name is Amanda Cook, and she sings a song called Heroes. But there's a line in the song where she sings this, and I just love it. I just love that line. You taught my feet to dance upon disappointment.
Kind of sad, actually.
I mean, it is sad, but also it is truth. I think a
Right.
lot of us go through that, where there are things in life that we want, but maybe they don't pan out. And
You doing
so
okay?
I'm fine.
I don't know if I need an intervention.
We've been seeing you dance a lot.
Do we need a wellness check?
But it really resonates with me.
I 100% get that. That's why we play so many great songs and we pour over them, and we look for songs that not just musically sound good, but also lyrically have something that will land with you. And so that's what we want to talk about. I know Gavin has one. I have one. We'll hold those for a minute because I want to hear yours. 855 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. What is a line from a song that just completely landed with you? 855-33-WAY-FM. So what's yours?
Ryan Stevenson, In the Eye of the Storm.
Okay, I love that song. What part of it?
In the original version, there's a line that says, "When addiction steals your baby girl, and there's nothing you can do." The radio version's a little different, but in the original it says that. And New Year's Eve this year, addiction stole my baby girl.
Oh man!
But yeah, that song I listen every morning, and I have sent Ryan a big email that said, "Thank you so much for your words." I went to the Toby Mac show first of the year, and Ryan Stevenson was opening it, and he played that song, and I'm telling you, I was big girl crying.
Yeah, I get it, man.
That's the way I start my every morning, and y'all are right there with me every morning. I just wish we could play. Addiction is such a killer today with young folks. I just wish that we could play and not be afraid to mention it,
Yeah, I was really sad when they redid that, and they, because a lot of Christian radio stations are super sensitive about everything, and like, oh, we can't talk about negativity and stuff. And like when they re-edited it for a lot of stations, I was really sad about that, because like you, I'm like, yeah, when addiction steals my baby girl, like, that happens. You are living that story, and you need to hear that, And so for me, I'm a little saddened by that as well.
But hey, I love you guys, and y'all help me to get through.
Yeah, if you've never heard that original version, here's a little bit of it. I think it's powerful.
And when addiction steals my baby girl, and there's nothing I can do, my only hope is to trust you. I trust you, Lord, in the eye of the storm. You remain in control.
And so we're talking about a line from a song that really seemed to land with you. What is that?
Okay, I'm going to try and get through this without getting emotional, but I probably will. I'm in my 60s, and this gets to me. It's the song That's the Truth. And when she says, "He looks at me and wouldn't change a thing," it just gets to me.
All right, so you're obviously carrying something, because you're like, I'm 60. I probably should have let some of this stuff go now. Where is that coming from for you?
My father was very performance-oriented and looks-oriented. And no, I know exactly where it comes from, but God loves me anyways. And, some things you always have a soft spot with.
There's something that will trigger that memory or, emotion. And so I love, though, that you have a song that puts the positive spin on that trauma from being a child. It puts the truth of who you really are. That's why the song is called The Truth by Megan Woods. And I think it's such a powerful song that really a lot of people need to hear, and women especially, I think, need to hear this today. So I appreciate you bringing it up. Let's go ahead and play it, because there might be somebody else inspired by this today that needs to hear this as well.
How many times can you hear the same lie before you start to believe it? The enemy keeps whispering to me. Swear these days it's all that I'm hearing.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and we've been talking about songs that we play and specifically lines from songs that land with you. And we always throw things out. We have conversations. We love people calling in and being on the show. But sometimes I feel bad, like Betty will do one or I'll do one, and then we run out of time, and then we miss Gavin. And Gavin is a valuable member of this show and a guy that I like his opinions on things. And so, Gavin, I'm not even going to do mine. I'm going to do yours, okay?
Golly.
Yeah, I'm a giver.
That's a lot of pressure for
I know. Better be good.
One, but thanks for seeing me.
Don't let me down.
Okay.
What is the line that landed with you?
The line, it is literally the start of kind of the hook of the song, from the song Counting My Blessings by Seth Schleter.
God, I'm still counting my blessings. All that you've done in my life.
Because you had a rough year last year.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Car accidents to health stuff, but there's just a line that I kept hearing people talk about, whether it was you can't be you're the greatest combatant to anxiety or depression is thankfulness.
Yes.
And so whenever he came out with this song, that line right there was something that I tried to use against all of that stuff. When it hits me on a day, when it's hard, you wake up and you're like, man, it feels like everything is just throwing these punches at me. How can I combat that? And it's counting the things that are a blessing in my life.
Yeah, it's hard to be anxious and grateful. It's hard to be angry and grateful. It's hard to be anything and grateful. And so if you can live in that space of the attitude of gratitude, it does, like you're saying, combat all of the other stuff. But it's one of those things that's what you need, songs that remind you of that, because sometimes you'll lay it down for like 10 minutes and then boom, something hits you and it's instantly back in your face, and you got to lay it down again and again and again, sometimes multiple times during the day. And that's why I love these songs. I love what we play because they do have a chance to make a difference in somebody's life. So there you go. That was Gavin. Worth the wait, Gavin.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.